Welcome to the Guilty as Charged podcast. I am Scott Simpson, your host. So excited to talk fantasy football with you. The NFL draft just happened last weekend. Chargers picked up 5 offensive players. Can't wait to tuck in. But first, I want to let you guys know we are brought to you by Blue Wire. I am a part of a team as well. It's not just me. There's Alex, there's Tyler, there's Steven, a bunch of great guys. Go check them out over on Twitter. It's GAC Podcast 17. Follow them. You'll follow all the boys. Jump on in. So excited. Who am I, you say? I am Scott Simpson, Nimble W Numbers on Twitter. By the way, that number, that Nimble stands for with. Nimble with numbers. Twitter just wasn't long enough. So I had a few people come at me today and just go, what does that mean? Nimble W Numbers. It's Nimble with numbers. Twitter just doesn't give you that much length. So you can check me out over there on Twitter. I'm also a podcaster. I have a podcast, The Fantasy Millionaires. It's every Monday at 10 o'clock on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Also have Chalk Blocked every Friday night at 11 with Bo_McBigtime, Jordan Vanek 1 on Twitter as well. Those boys chop it up. We've got great guests coming up. I can't believe the guests we have coming up. We have Matt Harmon coming up on the show. We have Dan Brown coming up on the show. We've just got a plethora of great guests. Howard Bender's coming up. That show is going to be great. So please do check us out over there on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. And if you love to do gambling related things, but that are not gambling, that are close to, but not, you should jump on Underdog Fantasy. Totally legal, parlaying, picking, best ball tournaments. I am on there. Promo code NIMBLE when you sign up, please. Right now, they're doing a Best Ball Mania 2 draft where you can enter to win a grand prize of $1,001. Total prize is $3.5 million. You get a free $25 when you deposit anything on the site. Use that to go and play in the Mania, or you can go play their rivals or pick'em games, which I love. Parlay up to 5 plays. 20 times your money. It is awesome. I love it. Go check that out. It's on the Apple Play Store. It's also on the Google Store as well. So do all those things. Google Play, I guess, and then the Apple Store. So go check that out. All right, let's tuck into what we are here to do today, and that's to look at the Chargers rookies and to see what did we get in the draft? What does it look like for Bolt Up Blue Nation going into this 2021 season? So what we're going to do is we're going to break down each of the offensive rookies. There was 9 picks. 5 of them were offensive players. We're going to talk about where they were picked, kind of what their profile is as a player, what do they bring to the team, and how they can enhance the fantasy value of the players on the team and kind of where the impact is going to be. So let's start with the first round pick, my man, Rashaan Slater. All right. I didn't think he was going to fall. He is an outstanding tackle, the second ranked tackle in the draft. He has been crushing it. He did opt out last year, so he did not play due to COVID concerns. But when he was healthy in 2019, he was going up against some of the best. You might have recognized the second pick to the Washington football team. You maybe know who he is. Maybe you don't know. His name is Young. Yeah, he's good. He's real good. Our guy Slater did a really good job going one-on-one against him. So that's the kind of quality of player you're getting. So here's some of his measurables. I'll give you. He's out of Northwestern College. He was a 3-year starter. He is 6'4", 315 pounds. So a nice size for a tackle. He is 3rd in bench press this year with 33 reps at 225. So he's nice and strong. He's also agile with a 91% agility score, 90% speed score. So he's fast. He's strong. This is what you want to hear, right? He also brings flexibility to the O-line. He can play more than one position. He can play tackle, which I think they're going to have him play right now, but he can also jump in and play guard. He could be an all-pro potential, particularly if they move him inside to the interior line. He's just going to be stronger than most of those guys he's going against. I love this pick. This is really going to help solidify the run game. They've done a lot of changes. Last year, PFF ranked the Chargers run O-line as the 32nd worst or the 32nd best in the league, or the worst, right? There's no other way to go. There's only 32 teams. So they've made some changes, right? They brought in Corey Linsley. They brought in Matt Feeler. So they have other things. They've also picked up Rashaan Slater. So they're refortifying their line. I think this goes a long way in helping Herbert stay upright and then also supporting the run game, which we talked about before. Austin Eckler primed for a top 12 performance this year, RB1. Definitely at the end of the first round, beginning of the second is where I like him this year. So this is a really good pick for them. This is an A-plus pick over from Scotty to Hottie. Their second pick was a third round, or their second offensive pick was in the third round, Josh Palmer, wide receiver out of Tennessee. So he's a Canadian, which I do love. There's been lots of great Canadians jumping into the NFL, particularly last year with Mapletron. And if you know who that is, shout out to that's somebody who plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, big guy. Chase Claypool. He's also Canadian. So shout out all my Canadian brothers out there. So here's Josh Palmer's kind of player profile, right? He went to Tennessee. He's 6'1", 210. His NFL comps are Jacoby Jones, which not bad. I like that. PFF has him, though, as a less physical Jordy Nelson. So more in the possession, also a burner, but possession as well, which I like. Here are some of the strengths that he brings to the Chargers team, right? 70% of his receptions went for first downs. So we're talking possession, we're talking downfield, we're talking able to stretch the field and get you those yards when the ball is in his hands. I love that. Another thing that's one of his strengths is, I know they said he's not as physical as Jordy Nelson, but he is physical, particularly on the inside. He can win those battles and get to the ball on those slants when you need him, or when he's in the slot, when he needs to get past the linebacker. He can do that. And that's what you want out of your third round pick. Now, some of the things he does need to work on this year, some areas for growth as he goes into the NFL, accelerating out of his breaks, and then accelerating after the catch when he catches the ball in space. So that urgency, I'm sure, will be coached into him every week as they doggedly prepare for the NFL season. I think those are things that he can overcome. Fantasy-wise, he's not going to be super relevant. He might have games in DFS where he goes off. His battle is going to be for that wide receiver 3 position with Jalen Guyton, who did a great job last year, who stepped up when players were hurt, when Williams was out, or Keenan Allen missed some time in the games. He really did a good job. So he has his hands full. I do think you might see him on special teams, getting a little bit of just get his blood warm, right? Getting him in there and being able to kind of run down and do some of the punt coverage, getting him going. But I do think there's value for him. I think he's going to be an asset, particularly in the next couple of years. So look for him to emerge later in the season with Herbert. Another third round pick that they had was my man Tre McKitty, tight end out of Georgia. He had also played at Florida State. We got a nice, athletic, strong tight end. He is 6'5", 243 pounds. His NFL comp is Jordan Akins. Here are his strengths. I watched some of his film today. He's really good at inline blocking. And so that's when you can seal the edge. When you're the edge blocker on a tight end particularly, you're going up against D linemen. You're going up against, the Chase Youngs of the world, the people who you have to be able to move. He did a really good job of sealing that edge, giving the running back a nice little turn angle right off his backside, as they say. So that's a strength that the Chargers definitely needed. That supports the run game. That's going to be able to support Austin Eckler. That's going to support Josh Kelly. Anybody else, maybe, our sixth round pick as well. So I like this pick. He will be on special teams. He is a very strong, fast player. So I do like him running on the Gunners team as well. Maybe in the kickoffs, maybe not in the punt team, but I definitely see him laying the wood on some people, hopefully just showing his physicality. Some of the areas he does need to improve on before he becomes fantasy relevant, before he kind of jumps in there, he needs to develop as a pass catcher a little bit, and he also needs to work on his route running. Those are things, though, that are going to be coached into him. I really like that Jared Cook is here. I don't think this takes away from my projections too much from Jared Cook last week. I think this solidifies the tight end room and really does help make them as a unit a stronger unit. And I'm excited about this pick. I think this will be a strong pick for them. In the fifth round, my guy, Brendan Hymus. Yeah, you got to pronounce that right. You don't want to say the wrong thing. Guard out of Nebraska. He's a big boy, 6'6". Man, I wish I had, a couple inches. I'm only like 5'9". So shout out all my 6'6" brothers out there. And my brother in real life is 6'7". So, I know those tree tall guys. They're great. So, he's coming out of Nebraska. He was used at guard and tackles. He's got some versatility. He's got excellent vision. He plays with a little bit of a nasty attitude, which as a lineman, I played lineman in high school. You got to have a nasty attitude, folks. That's what you bring every day in the trenches is a nasty attitude. I'm not saying you're mean to people, but your physical violence you have to bring down there to protect your guys. I love that. He had 40 college starts. So that just shows you a lot of trust in him. If you start 40 games at Nebraska, you're a very veteran, seasoned, well coached up lineman. So I'm excited for him. He's not going to be a starter. He'll probably be a backup, but he'll be a utility. Somebody goes down at guard, he can jump in. Somebody goes down at tackle, he can jump in. So I love that. Really adds the depth to the O line. All right, here's our last pick, our 6th round, Larry Rountree, the third. Can't leave off the third. I love that. Out of Mizzou. Oh, this is not correct. He's much bigger than that. I have him down at 315 pounds. He's not. Let's ignore that. But we'll go with the comp. Jonathan Williams is his comp, which, it's an okay comp. It's not the best comp ever. Some of his strengths include passionate, aggressive running, which you want, particularly down by the goal line. And he does have potential as the goal line back. He's a bruiser. He initiates contact. Now, here's some areas for growth for him, particularly when he needs to play under control. And also develop patience as a runner, which, that does happen for young running backs, particularly, in college and in the NFL. So I think these are things that can be coached in and supported. I think he adds depth to the running back position, particularly down at the goal line. So fantasy wise, I don't think he's going to be relevant right off the break, but I do think that he will vulture a touchdown here and there. So if you're playing the DFS and you're trying to get a nice little score, look for him to get you some touchdowns every once in a while. So, all right, that's our recap of the Chargers 2021 draft. You can find me, Nimble W Numbers, on Twitter, FF Millionaires as well. Chalk block, the whole thing. Go over, do some underdog fantasy best balling. I'll be there. Nimble W Numbers. That's where I'm at. I love this, every second of it. Also, make sure you do go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe right now. Push the like button up too. We want that as well. And then go over and follow the Guilty as Charged podcast crew. Tyler, you got to follow him, right? He's cool. Alex, looks way cooler than me, and then Steven, that beard is crushing. I'm trying to get my beard just as strong as his. So go follow the crew, GAC Podcast 17 over there on the Twitters. You're not going to regret it. All things for Guilty as Charged. I am Scott Simpson, and I'll see you guys next week